This is the Big Cabin Show.
Yes, I was going to say, welcome back to the Big Cabin Show. I think that was your agent. It could have been my agent.
I'm sure.
You know how agents
They're all
go.
the same, yeah.
Yes. Say, speaking of names, you are from Ireland and all. I had one of Ireland's most famous people on my show not too long ago. A lady, Bernadette Devlin, was on. Is she a friend of yours, a fan of yours? Are you a fan of hers? What have I said?
As a bigoted Protestant, you see, I can barely articulate the name of Bernadette Devlin.
Well, you're a bigoted Protestant.
Oh, yeah, black. From Southern Ireland as well, rather complicated.
Yeah.
Protestant from Southern Ireland, rather difficult. But one evening in the south of France, where we live in the south of France,
Yeah.
and there was thunderous bashing on the front door at 9:30. And this is the middle of the night for us. We get up at dawn, you see, but at 9:30, I thought, what's this?
Yeah.
Maybe it's police, perhaps. And I opened the door, and a reporter from Radio Luxembourg, he said, and driven all the way from Belfast down to us in the Alpes-Maritimes. I can't imagine how he found the house. And he said, is Miss Bernadette Devlin staying with you? I said, Bernadette Devlin staying here? I said, how'd you find the house anyway? I said, somebody called Miss McCarthy in Belfast told me your address. Miss McCarthy in Belfast? Hordes of Roman Catholics pouring all over us. I bet she was staying down the road.
And they thought she was in your house. Oh, you can admit she was in your house. You're not the first newspaper man to be caught with a lady in your... But you wouldn't entertain Miss Devlin, and the thought of her is...
A poor, sad little girl.
Oh,
deluded, yeah.
Well, she'd certainly take care of herself, though. I mean, she's very outspoken, and she's tough and all.
Yes,
You find her sad?
Oh, yes, very sad, yes.
Yeah? Why?
Kind of roaring and shouting about it. It's a hopeless lost cause. Like blacks and whites.
Yeah.
The Protestant and Catholic thing in Ireland. It's bound to die out in the course of time. You can't hurry it up because throwing stones and rocks and roaring and shouting.
You think if the problem were just let go, it would eventually dissipate itself?
It's the only hope, I think, for both.
Yeah.
Blacks and whites and Protestant Catholic.
I know you've had some colorful times in the line of journalism. Journalists always have stories about problems that they've had trying to get a story, and I know you had trouble once getting a story. Was it Gene Tunney?
Oh,
the American fighter?
I'd heard that Gene Tunney was going to arrive at the Savoy Hotel. I happened to meet an Irishman at a public house. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm going to meet you. What am I going to talk to him about? A friend of mine said, if you say to him that Dr. Jim McGuinness was the whitest man that ever lived, he said, you'll be in.
You'll be in.
And I met Gene Tunney in the hall of the Savoy Hotel, just come off the airplane. I didn't know what day it was even. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm a friend of Dr. Jim McGuinness. And Gene Tunney said he was the whitest man that ever lived. So I know,
that's the password.
He said, come and see me at 6 o'clock. I came back to the Savoy Hotel. The press office there was bursting with boxing writers, all mad keen to get at Gene Tunney. And a message came down from his suite that I would only see Patrick Campbell, friend of Dr. Jim McGuinness. And I knocked on the door and entered, and there was Gene Tunney, enormous.
Yes.
And I said, I'm a member of Dr. Jim McGuinness, the whitest man that ever lived. And he said he was a white man. And then total silence set in. Oh, for 6 minutes. Well, we're looking at one another. And I said, Gene, perhaps you'd let the boxing writers in, perhaps. I said, I think we'd better. And in they came pouring, relieving me of all responsibility. The worst thing in the world is to track down the quarry and to get him.
And then not be
face to face, to say, how are you?
Yeah.
Well, fine. Yeah. And are you enjoying your stay here? Yes.
Yeah.
With the mind empty of all further questions.
Well, what was the significance of that phrase, the
I have no
whitest man
idea.
who ever lived?
I have no idea.
And it was never explained, and he wouldn't tell you?
I never even heard of Dr. Jim McGuinness in Dublin either.
Will it get you in anywhere else in Dublin to say that?
Oh, no.
Just with Gene. Yeah. What kind of a place is Dublin? I've never been there, and I've heard that it's both the most wonderful city in the world and one of the most dangerous. I don't mean in terms of being...
It used to be rather good in the old days. A fearful roaring louds like Brendan Behan and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But it become a kind of rather like Brussels now. Once you see the young lads with the black briefcases bustling out Grafton Street, this is a bad sign. The brown briefcases, they're only kind of amateurs, but the black briefcases, they're dead professional commercial experts. Yeah. And having coffee, if you please. 11 o'clock in the morning. Oh, the end of the world into coffee. And a black briefcase. And working, too.
But, you won't go back there, then? You've moved to France, or you're going to move to France, I read. Why have you forsaken your native land?
We live there.
You live there now?
If you go back to Dublin, have you done anything outside Dublin, mm-hmm. and you come home again, and you walk down Grafton Street, like walking down Fifth Avenue,
yes.
And they say, are you back or what? See, or what means, I hope you lost your job at the Sunday Times and you're back in the mud with the rest of us.
Yeah.
Or say, there's no or what, I was back for an expensive holiday, and then I'm going away again. But are you back or what? Hopefully, you see, the disaster struck yet again.
I had an Irish writer on recently who said the Irish love to wallow in failure, and that was part of the reason the city was fatal to Brendan Behan. Ulick O'Connor wrote that book on Brendan Behan. Yeah.
A rather good book, yeah.
How do you like the French?
Oh, lovely. It's just like the Irish, you see.
Are they?
They are.
Except they steal your luggage.
No.
Everyone tells me when you go to France, you have your luggage stolen. And I have a lot of luggage that I'd like to get rid of, and I've actually thought of...
They're completely honest, extremely polite.
Yeah.
And they tell you what you want to hear. When you hire the plumber, he says, I'll be back, I'll come back again tomorrow morning at 8. Bon. Allez. You never see him again.
But you feel good at the time you hear that.
You have 8 to 9 hours of joy.
I may go there just for that.